rescheduling of the meeting to today. These remarks I am pursuant to what I was briefed by the Secretary and the staff who appeared before you. I was informed that concern was raised about our backlog, and you wanted to know the reasons for the said backlog at our Human Rights Court. Chairperson, considering your introductory remarks, I wonder if it's okay for me to go straight to the causes of the high caseload without reading this.
No, because we have not read this, because we only got them here. If your introductory remarks are limited to that, then we will delve into it. Is there anything else of importance that you want to address to the committee, which is not part of the backlog issue that you're responding to?
No, Chairman.
Good.
Nothing beyond what is written here.
Is this the fully constituted Human Rights Commission?
There are only 3 members who are not here.
So how many have you come with?
I have come with 3 members.
So I would also be right to say there are only 3 members that are here?
Yes, and we constitute a quorum under the Constitution.
Not here.
Okay, one of us is on annual leave.
Who is that?
Honorable Colonel retired Stephen Basaliza, and the other 2, I was trying to connect with them this morning. I couldn't get through.
Had they been briefed prior?
Yes.
Who are those ones?
Commissioners Shifra Lukwago and the Honorable Jacqueline Atuhaire Rabukurukuru.
Who I think was a member of Parliament before?
Yes.
Okay, so they defied?
I think they did not defy. We sent out the communication, written communication.
Can we have a copy of that written communication?
You have a soft copy? Okay. Who can? The soft copy. Manfred, do you have a...
I want to look at it. Please send for it. That's not reason not to come here. Why? Because we are dealing with issues that are intended to improve the operations of the Commission. We want to be taken seriously. Yes, but I will get the hard copy later. This is dated 17th is yesterday. Is this an internal memo? Because now, how do I know whether they received it when there is no evidence of receipt? And you know where I'm coming from, that we've been hearing stories of you people not working together. That one has been out. We would not be oblivious to that. So, before we conclude the meeting, we would want to look at evidence, one, of this communication, which I've seen, but also evidence that these 2 people received it. Honorable Mpindi Bumali.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, they were officially invited. Did they communicate back in writing that they are unable to attend? Or you are also just surprised that they are not here?
Back, 2 of them, but one has communicated. When we sent out this communication, he was in Kabarole. He's on annual leave, official annual leave, and he was unable to travel to this meeting this morning.
I think we will be able to tell from the receive. We can now delve straight into the issues, particularly of backlog. let's begin with the backlog. But before you even go through this, let's get to know from you the numerics of the backlog. Do you concur with the numbers that are presented at page 13 of your responses? Please look at them and take. Oh, you are off the microphone.
Some of the figures are not correct.
Now,
And,
which ones are those?
number one, the balance of tribunal matters brought forward as at 1st June 2022.
The 2,346 files
Yes,
is not a correct figure.
it's not a correct
What is the correct figure?
The correct figure is 1,587.
1,587.
587.
So where did the 2,346 come from?
I think this was just an error which was entered by a staff member in that document.
I see. Let me draw your attention to page 6 of the Auditor General's report. Do you have a copy or you need a copy? Can we have a copy for her? We can get a copy for her.
Chairperson has told us of...
No. We are not there. Let her first reconcile her figures. I think one for coherence, and to be fair to her, these are numerics. She's a lawyer like me, or maybe I'm a lawyer like her. And you know that we first pass. Some people think we fail mathematics. No. Are you in a position to reconcile right away, or you need some few minutes? No. You see, as you do your presentation, we should be moving together. Let's correct the figures so that we move chronologically. You know, if you say anything off the record, you may be misrepresented in future.
Most of
So,
right.
yeah.
So the correct figure should read 1,587.
Where do you get that from? From your records. Where? Because which record did you submit to the Auditor General that brought this figure?
The record we submitted, if it carried this figure, the figure is incorrect.
Where are you extracting your correct figure now?
I'm extracting this figure from our records.
Where are those records?
Can I request Director Legal Affairs maybe to add to this?
Director Legal Affairs.
With your indulgence, Honorable Chairperson and members of the committee, there was an error in the statistics that were provided for the 2022-2023 period under review. The Commission's caseload as at 1st July 2022 was 1,587 and not 2,346. It was simply an error in calculation. The 1,587 is obtained from our database that we have at the Commission, where we monitor the number of files in terms of caseload at the Commission.
So you made the same error.
The 1,587 plus the number of the new files scheduled for tribunal hearing as of 1st July 22, which is 895, and then the closed file as of 1st July 2022 to 30th June of 66.
I thought you were contesting the first figure.
Even the closing.
Wait. Suppose
Chairperson, with your indulgence, furthermore, instead of the 895 cases that were indicated scheduled for hearing in the financial year 2022-2023, there were actually no new files scheduled for hearing during the period under review, as the Commission was focusing on hearing the older files. The Commission actually closed 66.
you need to clarify when you say there were no new files scheduled.
Yes.
Does that mean there were no filings or there were filings but archived?
There were cases, but they were not scheduled for hearing during the period under review, because during the period under review, the tribunal was focusing on the older cases. So there were no new cases.
Will new files filed constitute backlog? And if not, would you give us your definition of backlog?
The definition of backlog is cases that are older than 2 years.
Now, the beauty is that the audit issue we are dealing with is titled Status of Tribunal Files, meaning that even those that are below 2 years before the Commission, for me, when I file my complaint, I want it heard even tomorrow or even today. So where are those ones that were not part of those scheduled? Because here there are number of new files scheduled. This is what you are explaining. None. So I want to say 0.
It is 0, sir.
But then,
although, yes, sir.
Files, complaints filed during the year under review. The filed but not scheduled.
Okay. So cases that were pending hearing are 1,030 cases.
So we would be adding onto this list by saying the new complaints filed, right?
The new complaints that are still pending hearing were 1,030, although we did not schedule any of them for hearing during the period under review.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes.
No, let her finish.
So the files that were closed during the period under review through the tribunal hearings were 66, bringing us to a closing caseload as at 30th June 2023 of 1,521 cases. So the accurate figures in that table were the 66 and the 1,521.
I'm going to ask 2 questions, not to you, but one. With respect to the figures, I gave an assignment to those people I suspect to have failed mathematics and therefore went into auditing and accounts. Now, we, the lawyers who passed mathematics, have confirmed that with the clarification from the Director Legal, the numbers we have are tallying. So, that one now, the question of numerics with respect to what has been given is out of the way. There are only 2 issues which we need to resolve. One, Madam Chairperson, before appropriation, you have a work plan. And that work plan, among others, gives a picture of how many files you intend to dispose of. Strangely, they are not part of the unimplemented activities given to the Auditor General that were not implemented. You may wish to look at your own responses, pages. I think you start from page 8 where you have delivery of services from implemented activities. Definitely they are not implemented. Through to page 12. And from the Auditor General's report. So, do you have a copy of your work plan? Here? You know, when I talk of work plan, I turn my eye to the accounting officer, because now that is within your province.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. In the year under review, the budget for tribunal was actually under the JLO's swap work plan. What we had under GOU was basically for investigations and was about 100 million shillings only. So in the year under review, we received about 300 million from the JLO's swap work plan. And that's where we implement the tribunal activities.
No.
From
That factually is correct, but I'm waiting to hear a correlation and the unimplemented activities. You know why? Because irrespective of where you get your money from, it comes back to the taxpayer. What we are saying is that it is all our money, whether you get it as a donation, as a swap, or what. We are talking about activities, the global picture of the activities to be implemented. The global picture of the activities not implemented. That's what we are looking at.
Yes, Honorable Chair, the year under review, we had challenges with our budget.
Yes.
Where it remained minimal to accomplish all that we had planned for. In the responses to the Auditor General, it's noted that the Commission had anticipated up to about 4 billion shillings to clear the
That's
backlog.
a very good one, and I'm taking you there. That's why I invited the Commission. We want to be of help to the Commission.
Yes.
For us, we want the name, but to function. And functioning means the personnel within the Commission must function. But it also means that we must give them the tools to function. What we are dealing with, and funding is just one of the tools, what we are now dealing with is how many you anticipated to conclude, how many you concluded. Then, if there is a failure somewhere, that will be the last one. So you're bringing the last one first. I want to hear the first one. In terms of planned activities to be implemented, to those that were not implemented, with their records, then we will go into why.
Honorable Chair, with your...
Honorable Chairperson, from the beginning, we summon the complainants and their witnesses. The panel, because the tribunal hearings are conducted in the regional offices and not our head offices, the panel has to travel to whichever regional office the tribunal session is going to take place. We summon expert witnesses, and these include medical experts. We may also summon witnesses from police or the UPDF, all of these to give evidence. You would wish that the complaint takes that chronological order, but during the first hearing, the complainant may come, but the witnesses do not come. We have several adjournments, sometimes asked by the Office of the Auditor General, and so with the...
Auditor General?
Sorry, Attorney General, sorry, because the Attorney General represents the biggest percentage of the respondents at the Commission. So we have a number of hearings. One complaint can have about 5 or 6 hearings, depending on how each hearing moves. Yes.
How many people constitute a panel?
The panel constitutes the chairperson,
Yes.
and 3 members of the commission. And that is the quorum that is provided for under the Constitution.
That's correct. Now, supposing I have the complainant is from Gulu, and for me to transport and accommodate commissioners, that is 4, plus the technical staff, the rest of you. Which one is cheaper? For me to transport the witnesses from Gulu by public means, or transporting the commissioners to Gulu? Because the decision to go up country into the regional offices is an administrative decision for the convenience of your complainants, for the convenience of the witnesses. Now you end up accommodating a worse evil of accumulating backlog at the altar of convenience, because I know how much it would cost the commission to transport 4 commissioners plus their technical staff plus allowances, etc., to take them to Gulu or Masaka or Chotera. And yet, in the same vein, I would find it cheaper to transport witnesses from Gulu to Kampala, where I do not have money. Apart from the politics and optics, what would stop you from proceeding with the complaints that way? Because what the people are looking for is justice, not convenience that optically you are seen to have gone to their regions. Would you answer that, Madam Nachiganda? To be answered by your chairperson.
The complaints within Kampala also require witnesses to be summoned.
Yes.
From whichever villages they are coming from. So it also requires money. It requires witness refunds to both our complainants and their witnesses, and also the expert witnesses that we summon. So still, we cannot be able to conduct a session here in Kampala because it also has costs.
No. Costs which are much, much smaller.
Yes, they are.
There are also those ones which do not require, those experts you're talking about. There are those that do not require paying or transporting complainants. Recently, I saw the Honorable Dr. Kiza Besije before the Commission. I saw the Honorable Chagulanyi, who was thrown out. Do you transport those people?
Each and every person that is summoned to the Human Rights Commission Tribunal is given a witness refund.
If I asked you for evidence of money you gave to Chagulanyi or Dr. Besige, would you give me that voucher? Yes or no?
No.
That's the point I'm making. There are those complainants who would not even be interested in that. They are simply interested in the substantive decision to give them justice. You delay them and therefore deny them justice in accordance with the Constitution, even when they don't want your money. For the record, outside here, I have represented people in the commission before. Madam Chairperson, you know. And you know that I have clients who have never even asked for a coin. Where you do not have money to serve those that need money, would that stop you from serving those that do not need your money?
It would not.
Good. That's food for thought. You see, you need to class. There are those who would not be interested. Serve them and also clear the backlog so that you do not have issues. Madam Chairperson, we have received that information to the effect that for some time some commissioners were not working or were not hearing cases. Is that correct or not?
It is not true that commissioners do not work. We work to the best of our ability. We are in a serious dilemma where we are required to work to the satisfaction of everyone without a budget. If work means physical presence at our office at Lumumba Avenue on a daily basis, which I would politely dispute. Let me give an example of myself. The fuel allocated to me for an entire month, maybe Margaret, you can reveal the amount of fuel you allocate to me every month.
Honorable Chairperson and members, the Chairperson gets fuel of 600,000 shillings per month, and the same applies to members of the Commission, 600,000 shillings per month. This is so little. It won't take them for a month to
Is that the case even that we should take up as Parliament? It's a matter of interest to us because we want you to function, to give you the money, and then we hold you accountable. To me, that fund should not even be negotiated. Subject to the resource envelope, you should be facilitated. But I've also shown you gaps where you could have done more with that little. But before that, the question we are dealing with is that the backlog or the complaints not heard have not been shown as part of the unimplemented activities that you submitted to the Auditor General. Am I right or wrong? If I'm wrong, show me the record. Some commissioners not working for some time. What I meant and mean is that they were not empaneled for some time. They were not given panels to serve for some time. I know there is a legal issue which I want us to address here at Parliament, but I also know that they were not scheduled on panels. And the implication of this, Madam Chairperson, is that you, as the central denominator, who must always be there, it gives you a heavy schedule. Why? Where you would have had a panel and say, Commissioner Crispy Kaheru, go and write rulings on 10 files. Commissioner so-and-so, Rally, go and write 10 decisions. It turns out that what is supposed to be done by 5 or 7 commissioners is done by 3 or 4. Now the others will not be helping you. And if you think I'm not telling the truth, please respond, and you'll also give us a schedule for the last 1 year of those that you had scheduled on panels. That's why I was asking at the beginning, where are the rest?
It is not true that there is any member of the commission who is not given a panel. For example, the panel for Gulu this week includes Commissioners Simeo Mwanga Subuga, Honorable Lamix Omara Apita. It also includes Honorable Shifra Lukwago. The panel for next week, Soroti, includes Honorable Crispin Kaheru. It includes Kano Basaliza and the Honorable Jacqueline Atuhaire. And that is how we have been. It is not true that there is anyone who is left.
Thank you very much. I think that's clarified before
How I wish I had the luxury to also ask for evidence of this, because it is a very wild assertion.
That's why I did ask you, so that you...
Member of Parliament for Kashara South and a member of this committee. The Chairman, there is a statement, I think from the legal person, that we should not just sweep it under carpet. Honorable Chair, according to the legal person, any person who appears before the tribunal must be given a refund for the witnesses. And you asked a passionate question. When Dr. Chiza Besige and Honorable Chagurani appeared before the tribunal, where they are given a refund, and the legal person is saying no. So if the rules of the game are for a refund for witnesses, why didn't you refund the witnesses of Dr. Chiza Besige and Honorable Chagurani? And if you did not refund, where did the money go?
In other words,
thank you, Honorable Chair. Mine is to do with the money that the Commission requests from Parliament. And my question seeks to know, or seeks to seek clarification, whether the Commission seeks for funding from Parliament to do this, to run these cases, the 1,521 cases. I want to look at evidence that you requested for money to enable you work on those cases. And of that budget line, how much was allocated to you? Because the communication I got in this other response, it is SEC 170/00. There is a booklet. I think we're having about 3, which are difficult to...
I think if it is difficult for you, so it is for the witnesses. So you must be able to point for them to the document you're referring to, the page, so that you are moving together. Not keeping them in Exodus when you're already in Revelation. Honorable Bumali, be patient. The Honorable Doctor is making a good submission.
Maybe if I could depend on your memory, there is a letter you communicated indicating how the allocations are reducing by the year. And for the last financial year, you categorically said that after deducting the statutory obligations, you were left with only 400 million. I don't know if I remember that letter. I'm trying to look for it, where you indicated that you were left with only 400 million, and you split it into 3, an activity that used 100 million, and the other 2 activities used 150 million each. So I got worried that you're not budgeting to run activities which are mandated to you by the Constitution. So I wanted evidence, or I want to look at evidence to see whether you're asking Parliament to give you money to run your mandate as the Constitution accords to you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Thank you, Honourable Member. I have here a document, a submission of the Chairperson to the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee where all the details of our budget is included, including the 400 million shillings which you have highlighted, as well as the funding gaps. And we requested for additional resources through this document, but it's unfortunate that at the end of the at the time of the last budget call circular, we've not received any additional monies in regards to what the Commission had requested. I will hand over this document maybe to Chair to peruse through to see the plight of the Commission and the details of the budget submission and the requests that were made by the Commission in regard to funding of the Commission. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
The clarification we needed, are you on
that document and confirm or otherwise? Besides, we are the custodians of their budget. They have asked for the money. We will look at the document which has submitted in evidence. We are going to interrogate another area. Yeah. I'm not taking you away from this, but I'm only trying to guide on the question raised by Honorable Dr. Batua. We will look at the document they have submitted. The point I'm trying to make is it is not fair to assert that you ask for money for your salaries and you don't ask for money for the constitutional obligations. I think that's not factual.
Honorable Chair, I think I've seen the letter.
Yes.
In this, it has not got a page number, but it's here in the book. I think it's one of the appendices. This is
first document on
the first document is submission of additional information.
Dated 7th February?
11th June.
11th June. Yes? You said there are no pages. It's an appendix.
Yeah.
Appendix, is it marked?
Appendix 4.
4.
You go to Appendix 4.
The letter is dated when?
After Appendix 4, you count 5 pages.
Honourable Member?
Yeah, so this letter was convincing me that Uganda Human Rights Commission is only making requisition for their salaries and paying little, if no attention at all, to money required to do their mandate. So in this, the money they require to do the mandate is
where
coming
do you draw the inference from in the letter?
There is that second last paragraph.
At the behind the page, which
No,
starts?
on the first page,
Yes.
the second last paragraph.
After deducting the statutory
Obligations.
and the fixed costs from the budget provided,
Yes.
you
A
are
budget of 19 billion.
Hmm.
You're left with 400 million.
For the constitutional functions.
And if you to take it by percentages, that's almost.
Would they have any option of not paying wages, which are statutory obligations?
What I seek to know
Yes.
is that I seek to get convinced that they asked for money in their policy statements, in their work plan. They asked for money to do some of these things they are mandated to do, to enable them run the cases, the 1,521
Your question
cases.
is why they did not ask for the money they are talking about.
And opted to bring it as a supplementary, as though it was unknown to them that they have these cases, and therefore it was unavoidable, because the supplementary request is in the last paragraph, second page, last paragraph. In view of the aforesaid, therefore, I would like to submit a supplementary budget estimate of shillings 3,239 million.
Would you not ask whether this money was part?
Second paragraph, the last sentence, they give an impression of what they've been getting before, and whatever they got is in that estimate, because they started with 20 billion, 2021-2022 financial year, and they are complaining that it came down to 19.6. It came down by 400 million. That is financial year 2022-2023. Now in the subsequent financial year, it further came down by 100 million from the previous year, which is 2020 for the financial 2023-2024. So this figure has been coming down, but their budget is in that region. So it necessitated them to ask for a supplementary of 3 billion.
Honorable Dr. Batua, that's why I ask the witness to give you evidence that this money did not start with this supplementary. Whether they asked for this money before for the activities, or whether it was introduced in supplementary and therefore not foreseen and not planned. It is only fair that you allow them to tell us whether they had asked for the same amount that they need in their previous budgets. Does that help you before you get distracted by Honorable Itungo? Your question is what? They will answer that. You see, we are allowing a round of questions, so they answer at once. So I am rephrasing his question for her to prepare properly, to put it in context. Please, Ms. Ejang. Yes, get the question. One, why is this money coming up in a supplementary and not the main budget? Two, why is it that your concern is about your salaries and not the activity funding? I saw another hand. Honorable Bumari Pindi.
I am hearing the language of no money from the Commission, but on page 1 of the submission of the additional information to the response on the report of the Auditor General. On page 1, the Commission is declaring the external funding received by the Commission in the last 3 years. Chair, in the year 2022-2023 that we are handling, I am seeing the Commission declaring a donation of 1,849,300,000. But when I went on the statement of appropriation of the year 30th June 2023, under the external assistance, I am seeing 0.
Now we are coming to that. We want to exhaust this issue first, then we go to the other funding. Yes, Honorable Nango.
Of the cases that were brought forward as of 1st July 2023, because she mentioned that there are 1,587. So out of this 1,587, how many have you been with it for 10 years, for 5 years, for 3 years? Because there are people that have met the Honorable Chair who have moved to Uganda Human Rights Commission for over 10 years for their cases to be heard. So I expected the accounting officer or the chairperson of the commission to give us the analysis, the detailed analysis of how many cases have you heard for the last 20 years and why. Thank you.
I think,
Madam Chairperson of the Commission, previously in the media you said that members of your commission possesses and they come in the meetings with guns. I would like to know how this committee can help you, and have you disarmed them because why I'm insisting on this, it might be one of the causes why the commission is not performing, and that's why you have this backlog. We need a clear information from you, and even you can see it. Your members are missing, and you don't have information, clear information. And so we need clear information, and now this committee can help you out.
Vice Chair, do you have the... I thought your primary concern should have been whether some of the commissioners are equally armed in this committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Kwizera.
Mr. Chairman. The matrix they are provided is providing for partially hard and is providing for pending. In their matrix, I have not seen cases concluded.
Are you sure?
The number of cases concluded against the budget is not provided.
I think they
If
mentioned
it is provided, we want to relate their performance to the allegation that they have to rob members of parliament privately to increase their budget. Some of them who are already in prison. Mr. Chairman, I want you to hear me.
Under GOU, I don't even know how to guide you on that. Do you see the document, the letter dated the 11th June, 2024, which was addressed to the Clerk to Parliament? Okay. In it is under government, under budget performance, highlights for the quarter. At the back is an indication. That is quarter 4. When you go to complaints management, you'll find an approved budget of, unfortunately we seem to be looking at different documents. You see the submission you made on 11th, dated 11th June 24. Madam Ejang, you have it? Yes?
Honorable Chair, I have it.
You have it. Yes. I would encourage you in future when you're submitting this, for ease of submission and reference, just paginate so that we are able to say, look at page this, especially for these ones which are not financial statements that have pages. I hope you have seen where I am. There are no pages. Okay, you look at Appendix 2 on additional submission to COSASE. Are you there? Count with me. Okay, no, Crispy. Let's go together. You see where Appendix 2 starts from? Commissioner, are you there? Next, which is this? Go to the next. Go to the next. You see one which has variances and challenges? Yes, you continue? Good, variances and challenges. You saw the last one which ends with the total for the vote, 19.672? Good. Now count 1, 2, 3, the third from down. Yes, where you're going to find is 000031, complaints management. Good, I want you now to share with the chairperson so that we are moving together. Accounting officer, you're there? Let's look at approved budget. How much is it? 181. This is where now I see people who passed mathematics, like me. You have approved the budget, 0181, right? Revised the budget, 0181. Quarter 4, same amount, which is therefore 100%. Go to the next is spent by end of quarter, 180. GOU government budget release, 100%. GOU budget spent. And I think that's where the chairperson was making reference to the 400. Okay? Meaning, we gave you what you wanted. Do you have any evidence to controvert this? Madam Ejuan, you want to answer?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
In their performance.
Yes, sir.
So when you look at their budget, and it performs 99%, yet you find that the case backlog or the pending cases are partially hard. There is a need to explain, for them to explain to us. Because if you have budgeted and you get 99% of the releases and you utilize the money, yet you remain with over 1,500 cases, partially and pending. That one means that either there is poor budgeting internally, which they need to tell this committee. And now, of course, there is now evidence that because of their poor budgeting method, they now attribute it to some members of parliament that must lobby to have increased the budget, which some of the members of parliament are now in prison, and because that's evidence.
Honorable Eddie Kwizera.
Can I finish?
Okay.
Then you conclude.
Since I will not conclude yours, I will only guide you. Please.
Yeah, because
please finish.
They should tell us if what has happened this year when they are being lobbied, if it was the same practice in the previous years, and how much they were paying, because they never reported. Yes, because they were getting money after lobbying. Now the practice has come, it has yielded to them. So their practice of budget is very important. Was it the tradition, Mr. Chairman, that they would pay some members of parliament to get increased budget or enhanced budget? And why didn't they report in there?
Okay. I will only sustain a portion, but I would expunge the record in relation to why some members of parliament are in prison, because that evidence has not been tendered by them. And I would not want to interrogate an issue.
Can she deny?
No.
Because she's, Mr. Chairman,
I thought
it is the public knowledge that she recorded members.
You did.
Can she now deny?
You did ask me to allow you finish so that I can guide.
But you would guide when she has also commented, because you were on one side.
No. I must guide the proceedings. Is someone raising a point of order? Yes, Honorable Swambi. Honorable Swambi, on a point of order?
Is it in order for a member to raise matters of this committee, raise matters which are not only sub judice, but are prejudicial? I think we should really focus on the report specifically, because we were interrogating that.
Now you want me to guide on 2 points,
yeah,
which is what I am doing. Matters sub judice. And the rule goes to explain what amounts to sub judice is where there are live criminal or civil proceedings. Those matters of the 3 members of parliament, vis-a-vis what you're raising as a recording, I think are substantive matters of evidence in a court of law. I would guide that we will not discuss them. Number 2, I would also guide that we avoid any matter that is prejudicial, because this committee will not be prejudiced or even be prejudiced with regard to issues relating to our colleagues. We want to be fair to these witnesses because the recording the Honorable Kwizera is talking about is not before this committee. We don't even know the contents. And you know, the law on electronic evidence requires that you must give me the evidence first, and I verify it to be authentic before I admit it. To that extent, therefore, anything to do with that so-called electronic recording or recording of any nature is expunged from the record of this committee. Honorable Sawanyana?
Thank you. Now that you made you...
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the...
Can I substantiate a bit and then we'll conclude it?
What are you substantiating when it has already been expunged?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I say it.
I can't rule him out of order before I hear him.
You said about the challenges of the budget and asking supplementary. If they had such a problem as they have now, because this is a problem of the budget.
Yes, I said that element will be answered.
Okay.
The element to do with what is sub judice,
challenges of the budget.
Challenges of the budget will be answered because they are live here.
Thank you.
Beyond that, no. Honorable Sawanyana?
Thank you. The lies of Madame Miriam Wangadia. When I was in prison, she came and visited us.
She's Madame Mariam.
Mariam Wangadia. When I was in prison with my colleague, Honorable Segirinya, she came and found us in a dire state of life. But when she came out of prison, to the media, she reported that we were very okay. We were just pinched. But up to now, my colleague, Honorable Segirinya, is fighting for life in Nairobi. So I got to the point of Honorable Kwizera of accountability issues which have been raised in the media, whether it is true that it is only this year that they have been lobbied or they have been lobbying them, but of course, because the ones who have been lobbying them are their friends, they could not report to police as they have done in this current matter, which is being handled by police. I thank you for your guidance, Mr. Chairman.
I like the idea of thanking. How come you are attempting to smuggle something I've already ruled on? Number one, I was not in prison when Madame Wangadia visited you to be able to compare your state of health with what she said, which is also not before this committee. Yeah, you see, be guided because you have asked me for guidance. And you even thanked me, meaning you trust me. No, Honorable Itungo, she will not answer what I do not consider appropriate. What she said before the press, you will listen to me, Honorable Sawanyana. What she said before the press is not before the committee. Number two, of course, so many institutions of government have been rendered naked with respect to the health of prisoners. And these institutions include court. I mean, where court say you have not proved that your health warrants being released on bail. And then someone ends up in the form and shape of the Honorable Segirinya. But we will not import those external and extraneous pieces of evidence into this committee, especially when you are not a competent witness. Competent witness means who? That person that has been called by this committee to give evidence. And today the competent witnesses we have, Mrs. Wangadia and her team. My members here are not witnesses. They can only ask questions and not give me evidence. So, as to what she said about your state of health, unfortunately, I'm afraid, we may not be competent to handle it here. With respect to other people, they have not reported to police. Again, that evidence is prejudicial, not sub judice, but prejudicial to the proceedings with our witnesses today. I would still rule that out of order and expunge it. Here we are, impartial recipients of evidence from our witnesses. I already guided. With respect to budget and budget performance, those questions will be answered. Anything beyond, I'm afraid we will not entertain.
Honorable, as questions are not answered, and when the witnesses are here, and you are guiding with respect to you as a chair, then that means members will be tempted to answer questions outside in the place. So my view is, if the lady is here and asking questions and she has knowledge, let her make a comment and we proceed. Rather than she accepts or she denies and we proceed. Otherwise, chair, when you guide, we shall go outside and address the place.
The deliberations of every committee to it by the House, and in the case of the committee on a bill, the bill committed to it, and any relevant amendments. Honorable members, your questions must be answered, but only to the extent that they are relevant to the issues placed before us. Many of you, as the Honorable Sawanyana said, may be victims of the so many errant members of government. You could even be victims of Madame Wangadia's activity or inactivity. But to the extent that the activity or inactivity is not directly relevant to the matters before us, I implore you to accept my guidance. It will not be answered. Let me conclude with this. These proceedings must not only be fair to the witness, they must be seen to be fair to our witnesses. Witnesses must be encouraged to come to this committee fearing no prejudice, and there will never be prejudice in Parliament, whether I am seated in this chair or not. So the pain that we hold from outside, kindly hold it. If she exacerbates our pain, we will refer to the Most High. And
but would it be wrong for her to deny or say I am not going to comment instead of you doing it?
She has.
Because she's there, she has the right to
She has
answer.
that prerogative,
Yes.
but it is my duty to preserve the sanctity of my record. Yes. And that one I'm very unrelenting. Finally, on the issue of addressing the press, I am not one of those in this government that gag press freedom. Outside the committee, say anything subject to the law. I have no business with what you say outside the rules. Honorable Watua, and you are delaying these people answering these questions.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair.
Did your commissioners come with it, or are we safe? That was the question from the Vice Chair. Now that is yours.
I have no answer.
Incidentally, they must have an answer. Is it true you say some of your commissioners enter commission meetings with guns? It's a yes or no. That one I will not protect you.
The question is unfair.
No, it is a fair question.
Mr. Chair, you've now
Wait.
seen the character.
No, the character is not brought into question.
Mariam Wangadia.
Honorable Sewanyana, turn off that microphone. Madam Chairperson, Human Rights Commission, I the proceeding.
asked, I have protected you answer. That one, because it relates. Is it true some of your commissioners come armed in the commission or not? Yes, Honorable Kavulindi.
I'm about to proceed because I've been listening where members are raising and you are the one to decide the question to be answered or not, as if they are escorts. Now, to me, when you ask such a question to Madam, don't you think you are violating her human right? Is she the one to know how one has dressed from his house to come with the pistol here or not?
No.
Why don't you ask individual commissioners then?
No, Honorable Bakabulindi, the question that was asked, she said some of the commissioners, Honorable Bakabulindi, I'm guiding you, you asked a question. Would you want to listen to those that have asked or listened to you? Question was that she said it, so it is up to her to say, it is true I said it or not. Simple. Madam Chairperson, is it true you said your commissioners come armed or not? You don't need to complicate very easy proceedings. Don't. Be on record. Please be on record.
The question is unfair. I'm not in a position to know who is armed and who is not.
So
at any one moment.
So it is not true you ever said it?
I ever said it.
You ever said it?
Yes. But I do
Have you since verified?
I have no capacity to tell who is armed and who is not. And I request to be treated fairly. Mr.
Yes.
Chairman.
You have my utmost assurance of fair treatment. That's why I have protected you where I felt, as your chair, you are unfairly treated. And I proceeded to explain, required you not to answer. We have an answer.
Honorable Chair, for the time I've been seated here, first and foremost, I know that on this side, the person accountable for everybody seated this side, the ones you refer to as competent witnesses, is Madam Wangadia, and that whoever has been talking to us through her. She's responsible for all the statements made from her team. She was even free to refer questions to various people on her team. Now, isn't this one of those instances whereby if on her own she knows nothing, maybe she takes time to inquire whoever is responsible in her team, or they reorganize themselves. They ask amongst themselves whether anybody is armed so that she comes with a competent answer. Otherwise,
no.
The nature of work carried out here can easily get somebody annoyed on the other side, and we may not be very secure.
That's not true. Honorable Madam Wangadia said she ever said it. But now she is competent enough to know. An answer, whatever it's worth.
Procedure, Mr. Chairman. Procedure.
Procedure takes precedence. Honorable President.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate what you are, the level of protection to the not the witness. To me, Madam Wangadia is not even a witness in this committee, because this committee invited the accounting officer. Madam Wangaria is not
No,
an accounting officer.
factually you are not right.
Let me first
We
finish.
invited her by letter.
That's by mistake anyway.
No.
Because, Mr. Chairman, the
You are ruled out of order.
accountability documents
Switch
clear.
off that microphone and receive guidance. Please be guided. And
Mr. Chairman, the
switch off.
accounting officer.
Honorable Kwizera, switch off that microphone. We sat here and we took that decision upon looking at the documents. So you cannot assail the proceedings of this committee and get away with it. You are ruled out of order. Honorable Bumali.
Thank you, Chair. Seeing you guiding this committee very well, and I know why you are doing that, because you want us to be fair. Even when the members feel that you are unfair, for me, I think you are guiding the committee well. But I just want you on the other side, Chair, to guide Madam Wangadia, that when she comes to appear in this committee of Parliament, the Committee of Accountability, she must be accountable, especially when you ask her to respond. This issue of saying, I cannot answer that, to me, I think it is unfair. I think it will not help us. And that's why you are seeing the tempers of members raising up. I just want to appeal to her to respect this committee. This is not the Human Rights Commission that she chairs. We invited her here to respond to issues of accountability. And therefore, I implore her to do the same.
You cannot rise on a point of procedure. You mix it with the motion, which is unsecretary, not a motion competent. Then the next thing is you give an opinion. Avoid being opinionated, and in future I'll be strict on enforcing the Rule 86 that I'm heard in silence. Madam Wangadia, you can see you want to contest the rule. I did not write it. Mrs. Wangadia, my work easy, and I'll make your life easy. When you leave where you're seated, for me, I'm going to remain here. And you can anticipate how I'm going to be treated. No, I am not giving her any special treatment. Each case is treated on its own merits. If you have questions to ask her, she's here. But those questions, one, must be within the purview of the law, and they must be fair. The custodian of that decision is not far from you. He's here, and that is me. So I will continue guiding you very well, even when someone comes in a little late and assails my impartiality. I am going to remain impartial. Madam Wangadia, the question that has been asked again as a follow-up by the Vice Chair is whether those issues have an effect on backlog. Your answer could be in the affirmative or negative, and you tell us whether they are of no consequence.
The answer is no.
Okay. I would implore you, colleagues, that you have sufficient evidence to decide whether yes or no on your record. We must make progress. The answer is no. Those reverberations and vibrations are of no consequence to the performance of the Commission. She will proceed to tell us the matters of consequence to the performance of the Commission as she was proceeding.
Most obliged, Chairman. Since it's a very short brief, allow me to read it verbatim. These are the causes for the backlog. Over the years, the Commission has faced challenges of lack of quorum caused by expiration of contracts of members and death of some members of the Commission. The Uganda Human Rights Commission is the constitutional body which has been affected most by death of commissioners over the years. Article 51, Clause 2 provides that the Commission shall be composed of a chairperson and not less than 3 other persons. At any one time, the membership of the Commission falls below the quorum as set by the Constitution, then the Commission is not fully constituted. In fact, the Commission is defined as the chairperson and at least 3 members of the Commission. So the lack of quorum has affected implementation of various activities, including tribunal hearings. The longest period the Commission went without conducting tribunal hearings was 2 years, and this was when the then chairperson, Honorable Medi Kagwa, died in 2019. It took 2 years for a new chairperson and members of the Commission to be appointed. Consequently, the tribunal caseload increases when the Commission cannot conduct sessions. 2, unlike the judiciary, which has many judicial officers who are deployed and charged with hearing cases countrywide, the Commission is the sole quasi-judicial tribunal of its kind in the country, with the mandate to adjudicate complaints of alleged human rights violations. The tribunal panel cannot be in several places at the same time. Tribunal hearings can only be conducted in one regional office at a time and not simultaneously in several regional offices. And at any one time, they have to be chaired personally by the chairperson. Unlike before, when tribunal sessions were presided over by single commissioners, the practice has since changed to sessions being presided over by a panel. This was a result of an advisory that was issued to us by the learned Attorney General, in which he advised that the Commission should always be fully constituted at all times during the hearings, lest they could be challenged. The sporadic funding for our sessions has affected the pace at which the Commission resolves cases. Hearings are solely funded by the justice, law and order sector, and not the government of Uganda. The nature of this funding framework is that funds are allocated to institutions when the donors who contribute to the sector make the funds available. When the funds are not available, the Commission cannot conduct tribunal sessions. The Commission offers its services to the public free of charge at every stage of the complaint handling process. This has led to an avalanche of complaints being lodged at the Commission by indigent persons who cannot ordinarily afford the services of a lawyer to institute cases in courts of judicature. The high case backlog has led to The high caseload has led to backlog, especially where challenges like logistical constraints and intermittent funding persist. We wish to assure this committee of our utmost commitment and dedication to dispose of cases at the tribunal, especially now that we are fully constituted. Steps are being taken to weed out non-starter cases, which include cases where the evidence is insufficient and where complainants cannot be traced, in spite of our best efforts to physically locate them.
I still insist that she is not the accounting officer in accordance with our law, and she was never submitted to Parliament in the list of accounting officers. Put that thing aside. We are looking at the performance of the Commission, who is responsible for the performance of the commission and who failed his part for this non-performance. Because non-performance, when the budget is there, means you have saved some money. We want to see over time how much money was returned to Treasury because there was non-performance.
What is your question?
She has heard.
Sorry?
Mr. Chairman.
That one is expunged.
After she has...
I have guided you, Honorable Kwizera. You are senior enough. No. Switch off the microphone. I have guided you. We were well advised in our meeting when we decided to invite her. And please do not derail us. That one is expunged.
So can we
proceed with the answering of the other questions, please?
We are looking at the budget.
You are not a witness. You are not answering the questions. Let her answer. Let them answer the questions. Turn off the microphone. Next question, please answer.
How much money we've saved as a result of not paying transport refunds to Honorable Dr. Kiza Besije and the Honorable Chagulanyi.
In others in that generic stream, those that do not require your refunds.
The practice, the general practice is we pay transport refunds to each and every witness or complainant who appears before the commission, except when they don't want to take the transport refund. And I don't know the figures which had been budgeted for the witnesses in these two cases. Maybe Ida can help me answer.
Not only two cases, all cases which did not require refund and which did not take refund. Ida?
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Work plan? Oh, where there is no performance, who is responsible?
Thank you, Honorable.
How much money?
We respectfully submit that we have not failed to perform. We have not non-performed, in other words. So
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to annoy you.
I am not even annoyed.
I'm saying the witness said they had some challenges of death and the members who are not there. And for 2 years, they never performed. And as a result, Ugandans suffered. But the budget was never because you budget for performance. So during years when they were not performing, how much money did they save and taken it back to Treasury? Secondly, who is held accountable for their non-performance as a result of poor money, poor planning? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that one is not annoying, and I can't.
So can you smile?
Are you happy, brother?
And even those ones you had expunged, you bring them back.
No. Those are expunged. Kwizera, your question is legitimate, whatever the is that where there is we want to apportion blame. One, who do we appropriate the money to? We appropriate the money to the commission. And what is the commission by law? The commission is Mrs. Wangadia Commission. That there is an accounting officer, Madam Ejang. You know, the commission operates in its entirety. And I'm sure that's why you had people asking questions which may be seen to divide the commission and therefore affecting functionality. So who is responsible? Different players. And we will examine, we are not going to write the report from here. We will examine what is the role of government in this. When government is asked for funding and it fails, it takes that portion of the blame. When we give money to the commission to hear complaints, not hear them, they take their portion. When we give money to accounting officer and she fails to plan properly, we will also ascertain that. So we want to get a global failings. Okay, we are going to go to where we're asking, now relating to funding. Yes, Honorable.
Regarding the transport refund that should be given to Dr. Kiza Besigye and Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, Bobby Wine, from at the time they've presented themselves before the Uganda Human Rights Commission. And we were answered that other than Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, Dr. Kano Kiza Besigye has signed for that money. So the committee was interested in knowing where the money that Honorable Robert Chagulanyi didn't take, so where is that money exactly? So the answer we got is that it was transferred to the Treasury.
It was rebanked to the Bank of Uganda.
Yeah, so while listening to her, we were also looking at the documents to see whether they are fully aware that money meant to be a refund for Honorable Robert Chagulanyi was actually sent back to Bank of Uganda. Unfortunately, the documents don't speak so. So we want to know exactly where this money is. When you look at the cash flows, that is page 11.
Well,
statement.
Please hold your fire. Yes, Mr. Tebuseke, that question is going to be answered because it here of jeering when a member is asking a question. We will stand over for 10 minutes. Stretch your legs. We are coming back to do accountability on the external funding and other funding and to look at the financials. 10 minutes.
I think she
Thank you very
forgot
much.
my question.